Let's talk about the pros and cons of tax lien investing. So obviously the pros are you can make great interest rates of up to 18 to 36% interest. Now, continuing on the theme of what are the pros of this, tax lien investing is safe, secure, and predictable. And remember, your investment is backed and secured by real estate. And the thing to keep in mind here is folks will say, like, what happens if my tax lien certificate doesn't redeem, right? Is it the end of the world? No. The reason I love tax liens is the fact that your investment is secured by the real estate, right? So remember this, tax lien investing, the pyramid of the liens, right? Now, not like a pyramid scheme. The pyramid of liens works like this. So he who records first has first priority of foreclosing, right? So what happens if you don't pay your mortgage? The bank is going to foreclose. Now, what happens if you own your house free and clear and you don't pay your taxes? Well, the county is going to foreclose and take the land, take the house, or whatever the heck is on that piece of property. So the reason tax liens are so secure is the homeowner is going to pay you your interest rate. Now, remember, the homeowner is not paying you directly. They're paying the county, and then the county is paying you. So that's what I like about it. The county is almost like your personal assistant in this situation. They're sending the notices to the homeowner. They're dealing with everything. The homeowner goes, pays the county, and then they issue you a check. So that is absolutely awesome. And the question is, though, is like, what happens if they don't redeem me, right? Well, this is where you get those huge home runs with tax lien investing, because in this situation, you actually foreclose on the property. So say it's a $100,000 house and you have a $2,000 tax lien certificate, and then maybe you've bought the 3 years subsequent tax liens as well. So you're into it for, say, $6,000, and then from there, they don't actually pay you back. So at this point, you can actually go ahead and foreclose on that tax lien and get yourself a $100,000 house for, say, $6,000. Now, there definitely are stories of people getting $100,000 houses for $400 or $500. You know, you probably saw back in the day on TV some of those infomercials. Now, it was a little bit misleading because they made it seem like you just get that house on every tax lien. But the reason tax liens are safe and secure is the fact that 95% of the time they redeem. And here's what to remember. Who do you think is the biggest redeemer of these tax liens? Now, obviously the homeowner, but B is the bank. Because keep in mind, if the county tax lien is going to foreclose, they're going to wipe out the mortgage. So they're going to send basically a notification to the mortgage company and say, hey, this thing hasn't been paid, pay the property taxes or we're going to foreclose. Now, people will say, well, what about, the 5% of the time? How does that happen? So here's how that happens. Remember, people who work at the banks are people, right? Things pile up on the desk of the banker and this and that, and it just kind of falls through the cracks. So that means that 5% of the time you can get massive home runs. So for example, if you took, say, $50,000 and you bought yourself 100 tax liens, you're probably going to end up with about 5 properties. And each of those 5 properties, say, when you're buying that $500 lien on, say a $100,000 property, you could end up with $500,000 worth of property at the end of a couple years. So this is actually what a lot of big funds do and things like that, is they make the small interest rate and then they make their money on, just collecting the property at the end. So those are some of the pros. Now, but before we continue, I'm Dustin Hahn. I've done a lot of tax liens, like 20 years. I wrote one of the best-selling books called The ABCs of Tax Lien and Deed Investing. I give it away. I like to give away as much as possible to the community. At the end, I'll share with you a link if you want to get it for free. If you like tax lien information, hit the subscribe button. We're going to bring you some great content. And if you have a question, ask it in the comments below, or just, say hello and hit the like button if you like this video. So what are some of the cons of tax lien investing? So first off, it can be confusing to get started because remember, there's 3,300 counties in the US, half are liens, half are deeds. Every county has basically different rules, okay? So you will need to familiarize yourself with the rules of each county so that you don't make mistakes. Now, tax liens are fairly safe because you're not actually buying the property. Tax deeds have a larger risk factor because you're actually buying the property and you have to really do your research a lot more thoroughly. However, with tax liens, they are safer in that regard, but they can be confusing and it can be competitive. And some of these sales, you bid down the interest rate. So, some institutions could come in, which brings me to my next point. Banks are one of the biggest investors in tax liens. They're taking your money, they're giving you garbage interest, and then they're going to the tax lien sale and scooping up liens, making a good interest rate. So it can definitely be competitive in that regard, okay? So keep that in mind. One of the other drawbacks of tax liens is if you don't have a lot of money, it's not really worth it to get started with, okay? And here's what I mean by that. Say you want to make $100,000 a year or $500,000 and you only have 5-10 grand, you're not going to get there making 18 to 36% per year. You are much better off going and starting with a tax deed where literally I've had my students buy, property for $200,000-$300,000 for up to 90% below market value. So you need to come up with the strategy that you want to go ahead and approach this with. So those are some things that I would definitely keep in mind, like when you're getting started, okay? So in the next video, there is going to be a link on how to choose one of the best counties and how to find a great auction. So there'll be a link pinned to the comment here below to check out. I'm giving away a free mini course if you want to see it. It's called the ABCs of Tax Lien Investing, 100 Tax Lien and Deed Facts You Must Know. And from there, an on-demand video set. I used to sell this stuff, but now I just want to give it away, give back to our real estate community, and help as many people possible get started in tax liens. And make sure to subscribe. Ask me some questions in the comments because I need to make some future videos, and I would love to make those videos based on your comments and things like that. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.